welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I was reflecting on my leg hair. You definitely can't see it on here, and I don't really know the angle I would need to get at in order to show you. Just trust that it's been maybe 2 months since I shaved my legs. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking about how long it's been since the last time I shaved and how much hair is on my body right now. And I was like, God, I should feel like bad and gross about this, and I have so much body hair, and this is the narrative of like, here's the new it girl shaver, all the hygiene TikTokers who go to the store and buy, hundreds of dollars worth of products, which, by the way, they're doing that because it's a tax write-off, and or they're working with brands who send them those products. They're not going into they're not making the same financial investment, plus this is their job. So even if they are making the financial investment, like, they are making way more money by making the content. Anyway, just so you know that it's a perfectly fine if you don't have the same hygiene product collection as these influencers. But they're always telling you, here's the new razor to buy, and oh, we're supposed to be using men's razors. Wait, no, we're supposed to be using single blade razors. Oh, wait, we're supposed to be using 5 blade razors. Oh, wait, we're supposed to be using 3 blade razors. This brand, this brand, this brand. There's always something, right? Here's your oil that you need to use to shave. Oh no, don't use an oil, use a cream to lather. Make sure that you have antibacterial soap. Make sure that you have this special stuff that's gonna close your pores. Make sure that you stand in the shower for at least 3 minutes, let the hot water open up your hair follicles and make the shaving easier. Just like a 90-step routine that I am like, I've aged in the process of even just hearing you explain what to do. I don't even know what would happen to me if I got in the shower right now and did this. Or what would happen to my bank account if I went and got all the products that you say are complete and utter necessities. Anyway, so I was thinking about that, and I was like, I'm not that bothered by my leg hair. Truth be told, I am not that bothered by my leg hair. Like, it's not something that's keeping me up at night. But sometimes I feel bad. When I first started making content online, I started on Substack, and I was writing essays, and I wrote this essay called Beauty is Useless, and it really was coming at a time where I was at the heaviest weight that I've ever been, and I was like bald, but I kind of like just grown out my hair, so I kind of just had this like awkwardly sized, I mean, my afro looked cute, but I dyed it blonde, but I didn't really know that I think you need like a toner or something if you want to go blonde, so my hair was just orange, right? Trump and I, we were lookalikes for a little bit, and it was crazy. Like, it's just, my hair looked absolutely insane, and I was the least conventionally attractive I'd ever been. And I was really, I'd spent a lot of time, reflecting on my feelings towards beauty, towards attractiveness, towards desirability, towards what I need to do in order, what I feel like I need to do as a woman in order to be found desirable in this world, really succumbing to a lot of beauty practices. I've opened up about having an ED in high school. At this point, I was like several years removed from that ED, but I think the lingering impacts of just kind of always feeling like food and I, we may never have a pure relationship, you know what I mean? She may never be my true best friend, and that's just a part of, I don't know, like having that like history with food. Sorry, I was trying to fix my charger. Anyway, having that experience was really hard. And when I came out of it and I really started to process my feelings around beauty, like a big concept that I started to present to myself was that beauty is useless. Beauty does not present anything into my life that I need in order to live happily and healthily. And I really believe this to my core. I started to ask myself, what things do I need? Do I feel like I need in order to be beautiful? I feel like if I want to experience romance, if I want to experience like fulfilling friendship, if I want to experience career success, if I want to experience just overall, like, as happiness and financial security, and literally every goal I felt like, to me, for some reason, felt like went back to my beauty. And so I felt like, if I wanted those things, I was gonna have to be beautiful. So I broke it down for myself and I asked myself, okay, can I name any person who has each one of these things that I want, but isn't, killing themselves to be the beauty standard? And if I could name that thing, then suddenly my point was null and void, because I had an example of somebody who was not finding themselves, but was still getting the thing that I wanted. So that was really important to me, that I was able to do that. So I read this essay, Beauty is Useless, and it became like, I just like opened up my third eye, and I was like, oh my God, I've been obsessed with this pursuit of beauty that isn't doing anything for me. And I happily let go of a lot of beauty practices. I've never been someone who did makeup, but like, I was not shaving at all. I was obviously not dieting. I kept my hair very low maintenance. At this time, I was usually like, I like shaved my head and then I kind of let it grow out a few months and then I'd shave it again. And I just didn't want to have to deal with it. Like, I had zero investment. I would wear whatever was already in my closet. I wasn't shopping. Like, just kind of had this year of zero investment of what it is I look like. And I was happy. I was a happy girl. It was a bit short-sighted because I think what ended up happening in 2025 when I did start losing weight was that I got to a point where I guess I wanted to feel desirability, and I felt like, specifically I wanted to experience romance, and I felt like if I stayed within the kind of relationship with beauty that I had at that time, it was not going to work. It's kind of a whole other video for me to kind of talk about the way that my relationship with beauty changed in 2025. But I'll say, like, at that time, the time that I was writing that essay, that's how I was feeling. And I just remember feeling like I had these feelings, but I wasn't really allowed to, like, actualize them. I think I really had this calculation in my head that I could sit there and not care about beauty. I can sit there and allow myself to gain weight. I can sit there and not have perfect style and not have perfect hair and whatever. But I knew that there were going to be certain experiences that I was going to be barred from having because of the fact that I didn't do that. Now, as far as, like, you know, am I going to be able to be successful? Am I going to be able to be in love? Am I going to be able to do this and that? Like, I knew that was still available to me, and I knew that I didn't want to just, like, date someone just because they thought I was pretty or whatever. Like, I understood that piece, but at the same time, I was sitting there and I was like, God, other people are still going to judge me on the basis of my beauty, and I'm still going to have to navigate the world as someone who's conventionally unattractive and be on the receiving end of people's, like, complete lack of care for you because of the fact that they don't find you physically desirable, which is obviously a very difficult position to occupy. And so it was something that, like, it was a feeling that kind of came back to me because I think sometimes, like, I engage in beauty practices not because I want to do them, not because I think they're necessary, not because I feel like I look better even at the end of doing them, but I do it because I feel like I have to. I do it because I feel like if I even just kind of want to meet people as an equal, then that's what I need to do. If I want people to not, like, already, like, kind of bar the things that I say, especially talking about feminism online, because I think there's a bit of this assumption, I mean, I felt this more in terms of being a lesbian, that I felt like people weren't going to pay attention to the things I said about feminism because I'm a lesbian. And I thought they were going to be like, oh, well, like, of course you're going to feel this way because, like, you don't like men and blah, blah, blah. So I spent a long time not talking about being gay on the internet. And I kind of felt the same thing with beauty. Like, I don't know, like, are people going to believe me? Are they going to think that I'm just coping? It's just all one big cope. The things that I have to say about beauty and attractiveness and beauty practices. Okay, we need to fix things. My camera's about to die. Yay, we're okay. We're back. So I kept feeling like is this just one big cope? Like, am I just going to have to keep engaging in these beauty practices, I guess, indefinitely, if I ever want to, like, just have people not immediately disregard me, and to feel, and also I think in some way I felt like, don't I want to have more options moving through the world, like, even in my love life, like, don't I want people to not to, because there's some people who are just shallow, like, not even shallow in the sense of, like, there's something wrong with them, but people who, for them, you know, putting a lot of time into what they look like and, you know, putting their best foot forward is a value. And if you don't have that, then they're not going to want you or going to want to be around you. And I think in my brain, I just felt like, you know, is there an experience of people, of the world, that I'm prevented from having because I'm not the prettiest that I could be? Sorry for all the weird cuts. My memory got full. Anyway, so I just kept asking myself, like, is there a certain kind of, like, life experience, I guess, that I'm preventing myself from having because I'm not trying to be pretty? You know, because I've talked poorly, like I said, about pretty privilege, but I started to be like, is there something on the other side of beauty that I could offer myself? Are people going to pay more attention to me? And the answer was no. I had to go through another year of putting a lot of effort towards becoming prettier in order to realize that it was very fruitless. It didn't really give me anything other than, honestly, like, I'm using this phrase very carefully here, but, like, peace of mind. Not necessarily true peace of mind, because body obsession and body preoccupation is, like, not peace. But I think this idea of, oh, like, when I would flirt with people, I feel a little bit more comfortable flirting after I lost weight than before. So that idea of, like, I have some currency, I have some beauty that I can play with, I have some beauty that I can bargain with, that can make me feel like I'm allowed space in this conversation, that I'm allowed to be here. And so that was something that, you know, when I had to sit there and be like, is this huge investment in my attractiveness, in my appearance, worth being able to have a few conversations with people where we could talk about, you know, attractiveness and I could flirt, and they can, I can feel comfortable. You know, I can feel like I have a higher chance. Which I don't know why I was doing all that, because I wasn't even like I got the romantic outcome that I was looking for, which is like yet another example of how like beauty obsession is not useful to me. But I think the reason this like thought kind of came in my head again today as I was shaving, because I wasn't shaving, but I was looking at my legs and I was processing how much like I feel like I used to have a really, really radical relationship with beauty where I was like rejecting it entirely and like really felt really good about that. And then I like started to lose weight, and then I think I started to have a more, I don't even want to say like, I guess like stereotypical, or just like more like the relationship that I used to have with beauty, where it was like I'm working very hard to be pretty and putting like this effort in and wanting the validation and whatever I can gain. And I think being on the internet definitely played a role, because it was just like I got a little bit more attention online and felt like I was getting validated in this way, but I also wanted to be validated in other ways, and I wanted to know that I can continue being seen in that way, if that makes sense. Like that if people saw me and like found me attractive, then that would like, I don't know, feel really good in my psyche. So I was like very like putting a lot of energy into like, I think being on the internet definitely like triggered that, triggered me to put more energy in. But it's hard because I'm still was landing in this place of, but I don't want to do this. Like I'm just doing this because I feel like people expect this from me. I feel like it gets me a certain kind of treatment that I'm hoping for, because it makes me feel, it's like a form of self-soothing, because occupying the world as like a overweight, bald, like girl, black woman was very hard. And I just don't want to feel like that again. And now, you know, if I can give myself a little bit of prettiness, then I feel a little bit safer. But I don't think that safeness is genuine. So I think what I honestly was trying to do today was vent a bit about, why can't I just have my leg hair out and still feel like a hot girl? Because they feel like fundamentally opposed ideas in my mind, and I know they're not. But it's so hard to silence the detractors and silence the voices that have been telling us our whole lives that these things are incompatible, fundamentally incompatible. Body hair, body weight, you know, whatever. That doesn't go along with being pretty. Sorry. That voice is hard to silence. Because then I just feel like I'm in this place now of like, God, well, I either drink the Kool-Aid and I do the beauty practice, and it costs me both money, my time, my mind, the space in my mind. I either do it and I pay that price, but I feel like accepted, or I don't pay that and I feel a little bit more like brain space, but I have to be okay just kind of navigating the world in like this new empty terrain, because this isn't how we're taught to like move through the world. So now I have to do it all from scratch. I have to Nora Smith my life. I think that's where I'm at. Probably not gonna shave, honestly, for like, I tend to shave for events. I shave for things, you know, like I'm like, I think there's a time I was filming a video for, I think it was with Dr. Daff on YouTube here, if you guys want to watch that. I think it's already up. It was up a while ago, but I think I shaved for that, you know. So I shave for big things, and I do have a big thing coming up soon, so I think I'll shave for that. But yeah, what do you do? What is a girl to do? I don't know. Thanks, guys.